Hey guys, Rick Stone here from the website ourstoneyacres.com and the online gardening school. Welcome to 5 Minute Fridays, my video series where I try and give you a valuable gardening tip in 5 minutes or less. Before we get started this week, please make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and when you do that, make sure you click that notification bell so that you get noticed when we release new videos. Okay, so it is the first part of October. It's actually October 2nd right now, and I'm sitting in front of our apple tree. Now, this is a new apple tree. First year that we've had fruit on it. We're pretty excited. We've got probably 30 or 40 fruit here. This is a dwarf tree. So fruit only on the lower branches. I'm actually kneeling down right now, so it's still a relatively small tree. I'll kind of do a cutaway video here so you can see the tree itself. But I wanted to do a video today to talk about a method that I have seen quite often advertised around either on websites or even here on YouTube of protecting your apples organically using plastic bags. So you can see here all of our apples are covered with plastic bags. And the idea here is that keeps the pest out. Whatever apple pests that you happen to have in your area, for us it's usually codling moth that lay their eggs and then that destroys the apples. And the idea is that the plastic bag will keep it out. And we used a ziplock bag, so this is an example of one of the bags. And we put it on early in the season. You just put it over the apple, zip that bag tight around the stem, and then the other thing that you need to do is you have to cut a hole in the corners of the bag, because if you don't, you'll get condensation in the bag and they'll fill up with water. There were a couple that we missed that actually completely filled up like a water balloon full of water. So you want to make sure you cut those holes. And then the idea behind it is that it keeps those pests from laying their eggs and keeps them out. It's also supposed to help with birds. It didn't really help all that much. If you were to go through the tree, and maybe I'll do a cutaway video here, there are a few apples where we've had some birds land and they've dug their way through the bag and eaten the apple. So we didn't get 100% protection from birds. And it did its job. So it kept the calling moth off. So this is an apple that I've already picked out of this bag, and no damage, no pest damage at all to the fruit. There are, if you were to look closely, you'll see that there are some that have pest damage, but I think that's because we were maybe just a little bit too late in getting the bags out. We had a busy spring, and I think maybe if we had gotten out here and thinned a week or two earlier and then put the bags on then, that maybe we wouldn't have had any codling moth damage at all. But there are a few, like this one. I don't know if you probably can't see from the video, so I'll do a cutaway. This one's got some damage in it, but most of the apples it worked, so no damage. Now there is a disadvantage to this program, something that I wasn't really anticipating. If you look really close, so let's look at the skin here. I'll try and get this in here and focus it in the best we can. Hopefully you can see that. It really, and I think it's because there's so much moisture in the bag, it kind of damaged the skin, so it's not terribly appealing. Now, this isn't the first apple we've picked. We've picked several already and eaten them, and they taste fine and the skin tasted fine, but we have seen a few. This one, for example, it actually, I think it's the combination of the heat and the moisture of the bag, it actually cracked the skin on the apple. And so this apple is going to have some oxidization underneath the skin where that's cracked. It's going to turn brown. On one side it's fine, on the other side it's not. So, and I've seen that quite a bit. In fact, we've got an apple sitting on the counter that actually went bad because of those cracks. So I don't know that I love this method. I think next year there's another organic method you can try where you cover the apples with a nylon sock, so like a pantyhose, just maybe like the ankle high pantyhose. You use one of those to cover the apple with, and I think that may be a little more breathable. We chose this because this is supposed to be more resistant to pests laying their eggs on than the nylons. But it's damaged some of these apples, and they're just not, some of them are not going to be good to eat. And so I think we'll try that other method next year. But if you're just trying to keep pests out, it worked. Okay, so it did as advertised. But I think that just the combination of heat and moisture isn't all that great for the skin of the apple itself. So anyways, I wanted to kind of show you the method. You guys can give it a try yourself. It might have something to do with our climate. We did have a really hot, dry summer, and so maybe that combination of that. But the apples did develop fine. We've got nice big apples, and these cracks have only started showing up in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So starting in September, just as the fruit was starting to turn color, we also started to see some of these cracks in the fruit. And yeah, so I think next year we'll try a different method and see what we can do. So anyways, wanted to give you guys that report on that, and that's all I really have for this week. So please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, click that bell so that you get notification. We try and do videos 2 or 3 times a month, and we have quite a few coming up in the next few weeks. So check those out, and that's all I have. Everybody have a great week. Happy gardening.